Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Raw review of us, the British Fist.
Catching.
I am Mr. Parkin, once again with my too tight V-neck, bad haircut, and in this corner, we have the one and only, the Honourable, Knighted, should be Sir NJ.
What's up?
To me, you will be Sir NJ, and to those people out there, you will definitely be Sir NJ.
The good one.
It was the return of your boy this week, wasn't it? We all knew Triple H was going to be on this Raw assessing Laurinaitis. Guys, subscribe up above, like this video, make sure you comment your thoughts on this edition of Raw down in that comment section below.
And make sure you contact us in the links in the description box below.
Yes, indeed. Road to WrestleMania has now officially started, isn't it? And it will officially start for us on this Wednesday when we upload our WrestleMania 14 review all the way up to 27, going up to WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to people's response on those reviews.
With the WrestleMania building up to WrestleMania 28, we obviously made these reviews for you to enjoy, so make sure you check them out.
A lot happened on Raw tonight, didn't it, though? We had John Laurinaitis opening the show, interacting with the audience, you know, shaking everyone's hands, trying to butter everyone up so they would, you know, not fire him. He talks about he never made the same mistake twice. Right. Just saying.
With Laurinaitis coming out, again, it was a different person who was predicting to open the show. With Laurinaitis, he just basically, again, I know you're trying to get the fans behind him, act like Mr. Good Guy, following from the Rumble, but again, I don't think the fans really care about him anymore.
If you don't get it, got it. If you don't got it, figure it out. And he announces that at the Elimination pay-per-view, got trending on Twitter, a Laurinaitis botch trending on Twitter, we will get Punk versus Jericho versus Miz versus R-Truth versus Kofi Kingston versus Ziggler in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. So we've already got our main event announced for that Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which I liked. And then he went on to announce loads of matches for the night, like Beth versus E for the Divas title, Ziggler, Orton, Kofi, Miz, Daniel Bryan versus Punk, a match in which I guess the IWC were pretty much jizzing their pants in this one. So we got a lot of stuff from Laurinaitis established, despite him botching, established in this opening promo in terms of pay-per-view hype and in terms of matches on Raw.
That was good, obviously, because with this being the Raw after Royal Rumble, we need direction now. So for him to open up the show and give us the direction of this show as well as the next pay-per-view, I give it a thumbs up for that.
And then we get CM Punk coming out. Na 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 wave.
Goodbye.
Justin Roberts for the win. He comes out and him and Laurinaitis have one of their usual things where CM Punk just mocks Laurinaitis saying that he's going to get fired tonight. And all of a sudden, they're having a nice exchange. And then out comes Daniel Bryan, World Heavyweight Champion! Yes! World Heavyweight Champion!
What a loser.
Oh, okay. Well, he comes out talking about Punk Laurinaitis Love Fest. He won his match last night and he's a role model and a vegan for the people. As opposed to straight edge, I guess.
Yeah, the whole him being a role model made me laugh. I'm just like, again, I know it's the WWE booking that's made me not like that much, but again, you're not a role model, mate.
You had CM Punk and Daniel Bryan interacting together, which helped hype up their main events. So you had some good interaction between them two. And then you had the Royal Rumble winner coming out, Sheamus, and he announces that he's just won the Royal Rumble, and he interacts with both the champions. And while I thought this segment had a lot going on in it, it still managed to accomplish a lot, in my opinion. You had interaction for that Daniel Bryan Punk match. Laurinaitis mentioning loads of matches for the night. Sheamus making an appearance as Royal Rumble winner. Hopefully he'll make more of a prominent appearance on SmackDown. But this was a good opener, in my opinion. It was long, but it established a lot of things which you needed to do.
Well, with our main eventers coming out, our World Champion, WWE Champion, then Sheamus, it all added up to the Laurinaitis thing as well as the main event. I really thought this was good, and Sheamus obviously gives us the hint who is he going to face. So it's all got us questioning.
Yes, then we get Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. This match again, NJ? How many times have we had this match now?
Too many times, and when it comes to this match, the only difference is you had Barrett up in the top.
Oh, that was awesome.
Box, and then you had this match again, even though it was replayed. Again, they camp it on as somewhat of a good fight. Yeah,
Barrett and Orton was announced to SmackDown, but that stuff with Barrett in the stands with Josh Matthews, that was pretty good, wasn't it? I liked how they're trying to focus on this Orton Barrett storyline, using that whole something different from having them in the stands. So I thought that was good. These two went at it for about 11 minutes. They put on a somewhat good match. Orton wins clean, of course, because you can't defeat Orton twice clean, brother. That's not how it works in the Breakfast Club.
Well, with Orton, again, as much as Ziggler is getting his push, I had a big thought that Orton's return, he was going to come back, have his win over Ziggler, and obviously have his push toward Barrett at SmackDown. So, yeah, it was an obvious win. But the match itself, it weren't too bad. Ziggler didn't look awful, and it got okay length for these two, so I'm not going to complain too much about it.
Yeah, decent match. But I'd say this: do you need this to come at the expense of someone in the Elimination Chamber who's just had a WWE Championship match at the pay-per-view? Just a little thing there, but overall it was a pretty good segment, I thought. Video package of the Kane Cena match, and we get John Laurinaitis shaking some more hands backstage, not getting very good looks from the Divas. And I even saw Damien Sandow in the backstage during this show. FCW for the fucking win.
Yeah. Okay.
Want to go on to the next segment?
Next segment.
Brodus Clay, the Funkasaurus, versus Tyler Rex, two dinosaur-like beings going at it. We had that disco ball in the middle, which I thought was fucking awesome.
It was a good effect, and the match, again, you had Tyler Rex having some effect, but it wasn't enough to keep Brodus Clay down as he knocks him down and gets a win, obviously.
Brodus Clay's hulking up with his shaky, little gimmicky dancey, and it's basically another Brodus Clay squash match, another way to get him involved on Raw, I guess. Entertainment for about 2 minutes before we got onto our main event.
Yeah, entertainment, yeah.
Brodus Clay is fucking awesome. CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan in our main event. Are we really surprised this was the our main event, considering that Triple H was returning on Raw tonight?
Well, with the whole rating of you don't want really Daniel Bryan to be in main events because of what's happened in the past. Again, him in our main event still gives him importance, and it was a good match for where it was on Raw.
Yeah, you've got your top guy on SmackDown, supposedly, against your top guy on Raw, supposedly. Our main event. I remember they did the same thing with Edge and Miz, but there we go. We get the announcement that the SmackDown elimination match will be announced on Friday's SmackDown, which is good. We need the main events announced as soon as possible. And these two went out there. Well, they had about 15 minutes. It was a really good match. I mean, I thought it started off slow. It worked up pretty well. It was a pretty good match between these two. It's kind of what you expect from two ROH guys like this.
Well, it did say at the beginning that they just wanted to go out another fight. Yeah. They did the handshake at the beginning, and the match itself, it showed both their strengths. They didn't look into weak. They keep saying go to sleep, best in the world, whatever Daniel Bryan's gimmick is, whatever. And the match itself, I quite enjoyed it. I was expecting it to be good because we have CM Punk, obviously the best in the world, and Daniel Bryan trying to build up a character. So overall, I just thought this was a good match between these two wrestlers.
Did you know I was straight edge, NJ?
Very, yeah.
Yeah, so is NJ out there, by the way, people. We're both straight edge superstars, but anyway, that proves which side we're on. The match was really good, but at the end is where I think the important thing comes in. You had Chris Jericho come in and attack CM Punk, causing a disqualification. Didn't get as much reaction as I thought it would, but still a good way to end the match in the sense that we're finally getting that tease of Jericho Punk. We finally got that tease, which we've been wanting ever since Jericho returned. So I like this segment. You've got a great match and a great post-match angle, which can really go somewhere to WrestleMania. A lot of people want to see it.
And of all the people that could have came out, that was in the Elimination Chamber, Jericho came out. So let's make a big statement there. He came out, attacked CM Punk, and I'm thinking that was good because he was in the final at the Royal Rumble, and now he's here making a statement. CM Punk, the champion. All I can say is look forward to their feud now.
So it looks like they're going to have these two in the chamber, and then they're probably going to stem that off somehow now, which will be a good idea in my opinion, because we know what's going to happen with Taker at Mania now, but we'll go on to that later. Hall of Fame inductee Mike Tyson, a well-deserved inductee in my opinion. If you guys go back to WrestleMania 14, which will be uploaded on Wednesday, you will hear our thoughts on Mike Tyson and his involvement in WrestleMania 14 and how important he was in really forwarding that Attitude Era, which was the most profitable and most exciting era in sports entertainment in terms of WWE. So he's deserved in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Well, with Mike Tyson, we say about people who have not been proper wrestlers getting into inductee are pretty bad, but Mike Tyson, with the effect that he's had in the WWF, WWE, he definitely deserves this. And again, he wasn't just a one-off thing. He did come back later in the years. So again, he's made appearances. He's done good stuff. So he definitely deserves his spot in the Hall of Fame.
He played a role in a big era for WWE, or WWF at the time. So yeah, I grant him. He does deserve this. Miz versus Kofi Kingston. We had R-Truth on commentary. Again, they're trying to further that Miz-Truth storyline, I imagine, using the Rumble and then the Chamber, maybe going to WrestleMania. So that was a good little addition to this match. You're furthering storyline while building up to that Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Well, with Kofi Kingston being in my opinion, a weak link to the Elimination Chamber, it was a bit of a surprise. There he goes, he was actually in it. But he's getting this match against Miz, and I was in favour of Miz because obviously he's got the character, he's got the build, and the one who I'm predicting is going to go quite far, as we saw in the Rumble. So, but this match surprised me. The way they performed, we had obviously Archie. I thought Archie maybe have involvement, but he stayed in. And
you're talking about little Jimmy?
Yeah, there's a lot of Jimmy.
Oh, you got gap. You got gap.
But
you got gap, right?
True. Kofi Kingston, he managed to escape loads of moves, so it was quite entertaining to watch him in the match. But obviously, it was not going to be Miz's night.
No, this match went on for 4 minutes. I like the fact you had Miz at the beginning of the match talking about how he was the longest in the Rumble and how he main evented last year and he's going to main event this year, that he's had a couple of scuffles on the way. I thought that was a good way to start the segment off. Then you had the match itself. 4 minutes in, and Kofi Kingston wins. It was a surprising result, but in my opinion, with Kofi Kingston kind of being that guy who hasn't really won that much recently, I think a Kofi Kingston win was really needed here because he needed to look at least somewhat strong going into the Chamber, even though Miz is by far a better competitor, because he hasn't had any wins recently. And he needs to look somewhat strong, at least going into Elimination Chamber.
And with Kofi Kingston losing on board, he needs a new direction now. And if he's going to get the direction here by getting involved in big matches like this, maybe it's a good start for him.
I felt it probably could have gone a bit longer, but that was my only real complaint about it.
True.
We got that video package for The Rock, the one advertising his new movie. We just had to pay Royal Rumble, and we saw this on the Rumble. Now we're seeing it again on Raw. Really, WWE? Just filler again to WrestleMania, I guess?
Again, they are going to be hyping at WrestleMania, but this wasn't just hyping at WrestleMania. This was hyping up a movie, and I'm just thinking this could have been a lot shorter, but again, filler for Raw.
Pretty much going to WrestleMania, I guess. Vince's payday, so to speak. Beth Phoenix versus Eve Torres for the Divas Championship. What more can we really say about this apart from Beth Phoenix wins in 30 seconds, and then we get the post-match angle, which has really nothing to do with the Divas at all. Getting Kane on the Titantron, talking about Cena not embracing the hate. He will not win unless he embraces that hate, and let's hope he does embrace that hate, MJ. We had that whole Kane and Cena brawl with Kane coming out after Eve Torres.
What I'm going to say is that Beth Phoenix getting a win. Again, it could have gone a bit longer, but obviously with the time they had left, they had to rush this bit. Beth Phoenix gets the win. And then, again, I was hoping maybe we were going to have a Karma come out and get Eve Torres because she was just laying there hopelessly. Yeah. But Kane appearing, continued to talk about Zack Ryder. It's make us think there's going to be more continuous to get at Cena through Ryder. But again, Kane coming out, obviously we all knew what was going to come next.
Yeah, Triple H needed his 20 minutes, brother. But we basically get Cena kicking Kane's ass, showing some aggression. Kane ends up retreating now, even though it does make Kane look somewhat weak. We have to understand here that Kane has been on top in pretty much all of these segments so far. So, in my opinion, even though I don't like it, Cena's showing a bit of aggression. It's about time he came out on top in a segment. I'm just going to say that now, because Kane has been pretty much dominant all the way now.
When I look at this, at Rumble, we all thought that maybe Cena's going to get the upper hand, but the fact that Kane got it was good. On Raw, yes, he had to use a weapon to keep Kane down, but obviously that helped Kane's monster gimmick that he had to use a weapon to keep him down. Kane retreating, I guess he wanted to save it for a later event to take on Cena, which he will.
So I imagine these two will probably head off at Elimination Chamber and maybe have some kind of blow-off match. I just hope to God this isn't leading to Cena overcoming the hate and going back to the same old Cena. I just hope to God they don't do that and actually at least do something with his character. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully they will, because obviously with Kane growing up to what he is and Cena being up towards WrestleMania, it could go either way now.
Another feud featured on Raw, just pretty good segment I thought, just overall. And then we get on to the main event. And NJ's going to put on his glasses. For some reason, I don't know why, but we'll find out in a minute. John Laurinaitis comes out to put forth his case as to why he should be the Raw general manager. He says he gave himself many fives. The only 5 I'm giving you is 1 to NJ. Exactly, that's the only 5 I'm giving for you, John Laurinaitis. So we had him putting forward his case, and then, well, I'll let you say this. Then who comes out to...
Triple H!
Yes, and what does he do?
Basically comes out, and again, at first he dragged us on a bit, but he came in, and as soon as Laurinaitis said he'll do anything to keep his job, Triple H came with all these ideas, and it basically went through different ones. He said this whole Vince McMahon Kiss Mouse Club went past that.
Yeah.
But even though Laurinaitis was going to do it, I'm thinking, Laurinaitis really, really wants this job.
Yeah, he tries. He was talking about Laurinaitis using his power to try and make himself become a star. I found that quite rich coming from Triple H, really, who's feasted on the spotlights for really should have been there for young talents for years. But I thought that was pretty good shoot stuff. The crowd were booing the fuck out of John Laurinaitis, weren't they? They wanted him out of that building.
Oh, they did, but it didn't happen tonight.
Yes, and Triple H, this is the moment that comes. Triple H is about to fire John Laurinaitis, talking about he got all the personal issues in the way of his job, and he's just about to fire him, and then we get the bell of Undertaker. A genuine surprise on Raw. Undertaker comes out, and then you get this whole thing between these two where, talk about personal issues put aside, Triple H is in this job and if he wants to go after the streak again, he's going to have to put his personal issues aside. I thought this was really well done by WWE, even though it did kind of drag. It was still well done in terms of how they focused it with the whole Triple H putting his personal issues aside, about to fire Laurinaitis for that reason. I like this.
Well, the way I felt about this is that obviously Taker came in, he was wanting this match against Triple H. It wasn't Triple H demanding anything like that. It was Taker looking at the WrestleMania sign, then at Triple H, and all Triple H could do was... And then he left the ring. So that's making me think that Triple H is trying his hardest to keep his direction on coming maybe to GM or Raw instead of going against Undertaker. But just like the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, maybe they're going to drag it on and eventually Triple H is going to give in and go against Taker at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so it was a quite interesting way to end Raw, wasn't it? You had Taker there just basically saying to Triple H, here I am, are you going to come after the streak again? And Triple H walks out because he wants to concentrate on his job. I still think this means we're going to get Triple H and Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's going to happen now. The seeds are planted. It's going to happen. Triple H is going to have to overcome his personal demons or whatever to face Undertaker in terms of his job. We're also going to get Jericho Punk now as well. I think that pretty much sets in stone what we're going to get at WrestleMania. So these two segments, main event and our main event, were two very good segments, especially this one. And I think they set it up very well using the whole personal issues thing. This was a very good way to end the show, in my opinion.
Again, other than the length it took to do the Laurinaitis thing, then the Take thing, I did find the ending effective, and it's leaving us on to next week, as well as the future pay-per-views.
As well as WrestleMania, yes, indeed. And it was a genuine surprise as well. I was not expecting Undertaker. Genuine surprise on Raw. We don't get many of those reading spoilers all the time, do we?
No, there's a big chance it could have come at the Rumble, but coming on the Raw, it was a specialty for this Raw.
Yeah, and I think after that Royal Rumble that we got, which we found a bit disappointing, WWE really needed to come out of the blocks on this Raw, and in my opinion, they did that 100%. They come out of the blocks big time here. A lot of very good segments, in my opinion, and you had that main event, and the way they did that hour main event, setting up to the WrestleMania matches that we're possibly going to be getting, which people may or may not want to see, but it's still planting the seeds very well. What did you think overall to this Raw, MJ?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. There weren't much things I was disappointed with. It flowed on from Royal Rumble. It showed you the wrestlers that, obviously not as much SmackDown wrestlers, but it was concentrating on
the Raw Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, so overall, I thought it did what it needed to.
I mean, a lot of storylines in this Raw were done. You got the foundations for Jericho and Punk made, which I think is going to happen at WrestleMania. Triple H and Taker, the seeds are planted for that. Miz and Truth, Cena, Kane, Orton, Barrett. You got all those little feuds there now, really starting to come around on Raw. And each segment seemed to really do justice for those feuds. We've got some good matches in there as well. A great way to end the show. A good opener. I really did think this was an A show, in my opinion. I might be going out there. I don't give A's very often. But this really was, to me, a very good show. I enjoyed what they did here. And I might get heat for over saying this was such a great Raw, but I honestly felt it was a really good Raw, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's not really much I could say bad about it. Yeah, you had the entertainment of Funkasaurus. You had every aspect of Raw leading to something. Maybe the matches were a bit short in some cases, but overall, it had what we wanted to see. It gave us direction towards the future, which we should do after Rumble.
Yeah. Elimination Chamber pay-per-view hype there. It'd be interesting to see what else they're going to do with regards to maybe the US tag or the IC Championship, but hopefully we'll get that sometime soon. But they established the main event Elimination Chamber, give us a lot of good segments in there that hyped up feuds, set the foundations for some matches at WrestleMania as well, which I feel will happen. So it just is a great Raw. I really did enjoy this Raw a lot. It was very entertaining. All the segments were pretty good, in my opinion. They hyped up to the pay-per-view, so I'm overall very happy. This is why I'm giving it an A. The first time I give Raw an A, I think, ever.
A is a strong grade, but to be honest, it does deserve such a big grade. Yes, because we had the return of Take, we had lots of things going for it, so that sounds like a really good grade for this show.
And people that have complained about us being negative, watch this review and take it on board, just saying. Make sure you get your thoughts on this Raw down in that comment section below, of course, whether they're good or bad. NJ, just put those glasses back on, right? And do me a favour. Just do the line. Do the line.
The line is... Before I get to the line, let me just say one thing. People, thank you for watching our video. It has been it from the British Fist, Mr. Parkin, and me, NJ. Till next time, people. Hasta vista, YouTubers.